Welcome back, guys, to the Coins and Connections podcast. This is your girl, Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and we are going to continue to explore all things books, business, and bullshit. Let's get into today's episode. All right, so I'm going to give a quick disclaimer. This episode, we had a lot of technical difficulties, so bear with us if anything feels choppy or not complete. We did have to kind of restart a few times, but you should stay and listen because this episode is really good. So thank you guys so much for bearing with us. Hey guys, what's up? I am back with episode 27. I'm going to practice some consistency, okay? I'm trying to do better, but I'm super excited about this episode because for the first time, I'm having a guest. So this is like big. I know y'all tired of me talking shit by myself. So I am bringing one of my good friends, my sister in arm, my down the street and around the corner neighbor, Gabrielle, aka Gabby G, all that, she is a mother, public speaker, mental health advocate, and author, a Navy combat veteran, but as a healer, she is a woman who lives in her truth. Her background includes a degree in counseling, psychology, and a master's in clinical social work. She's also had additional training in trauma-informed care. Gabby specializes in treating women with complex trauma or intimacy issues in men and women with chronic depression, anxiety-related disorders, bipolar disorder, and PTSD. Her ongoing advocacy work includes educating Black communities on the importance of their emotional and mental health. She remains transparent about her own mental health journey as a way to show other women that healing is a necessary process. So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey guys, we are welcoming Gabby to the podcast. Hey girl.
Hey girl, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad I was able to get you on, and we're going to have to celebrate real quick because you are my first guest.
Oh, woo-woo. I feel so honored.
Yes. It's been a long time coming. We'd have made it to episode 27, child.
Yes, I remember episode 1.
I'm glad you was listening from the beginning. Shout out to you for being a good friend. And speaking of being a good friend, today we are going to talk about friendships in business. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. So I want to know, what do you think about creating friendships in business? What do you think about like business besties, all of that jazz? What is your take on it? And do you think people are building genuine friendships because they have similarities in certain types of businesses or fields?
Okay, so, girl, that was a heavy question, but I think they are good questions. I think they're heavy, but they're necessary, right? So when you think about friendships in business, the first thing that comes to mind for me are clear boundaries. So I definitely think it's possible to be two friends who have businesses and they kind of, you know, that business bestie thing that's going on right now, like you can bounce ideas off of each other. So when I think of business besties, I think of iron sharpens iron. I've said that to you, you said that to me. That's just really making sure that each person is at their best, or there may be times when one friend cannot, you know, pull it together. They may be having a difficult day, and that other business bestie comes in and, you know, gives them a word of encouragement. You've definitely done that for me. And so that's what I think of when I think friendships and business. When I think of friendships and business, that makes me think, you know, two friends who are in business together. And I've actually, I think just you and I having the t-shirt line for our hometown, you're the first person that I'm friends with that I am in business with. And I think that works because we have, right?
I just thought about down. I had that question down, and you just like, okay, I like how we already bouncing off each other, because this is like legit what happens.
Without talking about
the fact that you even brung it up, and I had that question written down, that's how connected we are with just like our mindset. So that's just crazy to me right now. Listen, y'all know how technology be getting. I don't know what happened, but we back.
And we're back. Okay. So I'm just going to jump right in. So just to jump right back into what we were talking about earlier, you and I think we work well together in business because we have a clear understanding of what our personal boundaries are, as well as what our professional boundaries are. We've definitely done a really good job of, like, if we have a personal situation, you know, the kids acting up and we just want to vent or rant, you know, we've done a really good job of saying, hey girl, do you have a minute, or do you have space, or how you feeling today? Cause I need to tell you about these damn kids, right? Like, I think we've done a really good job of making sure that we are able to hold space for each other, whether it's personal or professional. Because I think I remember reaching out to you one day and I had something to say, and I was like, oh, wait, let me tell her this is not a professional text because it's after 5. And, you know, like Red, hours are 9 to 5. So,
and it's so crazy because a lot of time it's like, I think you're so much like me, because sometimes when something comes up, it's like, I got to get it out. I got to get it to her. And things like that, like ideas or things that we see for each other's businesses, like that, to me, that does not, like, it doesn't have a boundary, because it's like we are so much alike. When it sparks and it hits us, it's like magical, and we have to let each other know. And I really love that, and I respect that in our friendship and in our, you know, business friendship.
Yes. You make a really good point when you brought that up, because even when the ideas spark, or if we see something, we say, oh, you know what, this will be really good for her line or whatever, or this will be really good on her brand. We can send it. And even if the other person doesn't respond right away, there's no personal offense taken to it. Like, oh, I saw this, but I had to feed the kids, or oh, I saw this, but I was walking the dog and I meant to reply to you the other day. So there's no like personal offense taken to it. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that.
Okay, so I think we got a clear understanding. I just want y'all to know that we bomb, we dope as fuck. So this is my friend. You can't have her. But so this other question is basically, how do you think we support each other in business? And I want to go a little in depth in that, because you have oils, you have crystals, you have healing balms, you just have a lot of stuff that is good for the soul. You also have a few t-shirts and journals, and you are also an author. So for me, I would buy all my crystals from you, because that's not something I can produce, or something I'm interested in. And also, when I think about me just buying my crystals from you, I wouldn't buy them from any place else, because it's basically kind of like, yo, my friends sell crystals. What I look like going buying it from, you know, somebody else? Or
right.
My friend, you know, she got this. I'm not going to buy it from anybody else. But at the same time, I own your journal. I own your book. I own your shirt. Now, I don't think I overdo it, because, of course, I sell T-shirts too. But to me, I don't feel like it's taken away from my business if I sport your T-shirt or if I write in your journal. So how do you feel that you support, how you support people who possibly have a similar business like yours, or other friends that you have in business? Like, do you have boundaries of, how you go hard for somebody, or how you just buy a certain product and you support them with that one thing?
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel.
So to be completely honest, like, I've definitely done the I'm going super hard for somebody, to the point where I may have been going harder for them than they were going for themselves. And so that was a hard lesson for me, and I had to kind of pull back. With us, I don't think it is an overwhelming amount to where it's too much. You may have a shirt that I may not wear, but I know a perfect person who will wear it, and I may buy it from you and send it to them. I've done that with my sister. You may have a ebook out, or a journal, or a course, and I may already know the information, but as soon as I think of somebody who could benefit from it, I'm supporting two people. I'm supporting you, and I'm supporting someone who could get something from it. I can also buy it and give it away as a gift. So I don't think that me supporting you has been an issue. I think that when it comes to friends in business, if supporting your friend, then you may want to kind of scale back and take a look at why, and look inside and say, okay, what is it about me supporting this person, or this friend, or this business and friendship that's bothering me? And that's, that's some other shit that you kind of got to get out on your own. You might need to journal that one night. But when it comes to support, I definitely would support you. Like, anytime someone says, oh, I want to publish a book, I go, I got somebody you need to holler at. I got a publishing consultant.
Ooh, child, the devil is busy.
Girl, blame this shit on all the retrograde.
Woo! They don't want this heat to hit the internet streets. Like,
listen, that means it's needed. Somebody somewhere needed.
Oh my gosh. Dang. But
oh goodness.
I'm gonna let you finish up, and then we're gonna close out this segment and then hop into a next segment, because Jesus.
Right? Okay. So basically, no, I don't think that there's been an issue with supporting a friend, especially when they are either doing something different than you, or y'all are kind of in similar lanes. There's a way to support without underdoing it or overdoing it. And before you close out this segment, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Is there anything, or how can I better support you? Is there anything else that I could do better to support you as a friend, or as someone in business?
I think you have done an amazing job. When I say, when I had the idea for the hometown t-shirts, I have told you this, like, I couldn't think of anybody else that I would want to go into business with. Like, I have many friends from back home, but when I say, like, throughout the years, even though we didn't talk every day, I think this year we've done so much better.
Much better.
It would go gas, but still, like, you would give me sound advice. You would be there for me. And when we were home at the same time, we would, link up. So for me, you have not only been very instrumental in my business with helping me with ideas and just getting my shit together. You have been an amazing friend. And at this point, I don't think there's any more you can do. I think we are basically on the same wavelength. And when this shit pop off, I already know. I don't even gotta be like, you wasn't shooting. No, we was in the gym. We was behind the bleachers. We was mopping the floors. Like, I already know. And you just, like, I don't have a lot of people like that. Like, I have people I talk to, but when I say, like, when I make it, oh, best believe you riding with me.
I appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just one-sided. I think we have to do check-ins with each other about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So our next segment, we are going to talk about mental health and business. So keep listening. All right, guys. So we are going to get a little deep here. I've been super transparent with my audience, and I let you guys know that I deal with anxiety, and I have basically fought my way through depression, and I go to therapy, and I also take medication. So I've been super honest with you guys, and being that I am a small business owner, I wanted to see if Gabby had any tips that she can give us to just basically help us through this are ways that she sees it in her own business that she's done to combat it, get through it, and kind of move on, because we don't want to just keep putting a band-aid on things and not addressing the issues. So I'm going to let you have the floor.
Okay. Well, I think that it's really, really courageous of you to be so open and transparent. You know, that's my thing, is just, you can't heal what you're not honest about. You can't heal what you can't see. And so kudos to you for being able to share that part of your journey with your audience. The first thing that I would definitely probably start out with asking, you know, like, what is your limit? Or I had to figure out what my limit was when it came to the grind. And I'm doing like air quotes, nobody can see, but when it comes to like the grind, right? Because everybody's grind looks different. So what is my limit? What is your limit? Being okay with knowing that like your limits are different from mine. I might can do 6 good hours in the morning from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then that's it for the whole day. But being at peace with that.
Oh, I like that.
Something that you've figured out, like what your limit is?
No, I'm all over the place.
Okay. Do you know when you work best?
In the morning, as soon as I get up. Because by the time I get off a little part-time job, I'm working, but I'm not focused.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a early riser. I can get once I'm up, I'm up. That's it. I'm up.
Right.
So yeah, I'm an early riser.
Yeah, I definitely had to figure that out for myself. But again, that can also be hard because, like you said earlier, like when the ideas hit and when that magic spark, that fire sparks, you're like, man, I got to get this out or I'm going to lose it. I got to figure it all out from A to Z today. And it's okay to outline it and then, you know, get everything out that you need for that moment. And then you can come back to it. But it took me a while to kind of be okay with that. Yeah. And so knowing what your limits are, and then kind of fighting through that internal conflict of go harder because society tells you to. Y'all want to like work hard, but again, just not feeling guilty that your hustle may be limited.
I promise y'all this is going to be a great podcast.
It really is.
Okay. All right. We back.
So basically, working within your limits is one of the first things that I would suggest to a business owner. But you got to know what those limits are. And if you can't figure those out on your own, I definitely, I suggest seeking professional help. If you want to call it a life coach, if you want to call it a counselor, a guidance counselor, a therapist, a Ayan Van Zant, whatever you want to call it, go get some help, because you're going to be sitting there just holding in all of this personal and professional stuff, and you need an outlet. You definitely need an outlet. You need to know what your limits are, and you need an outlet. And there's nothing wrong with having somebody professional to talk to.
Absolutely. So, any more tips?
No, everybody's grind looks different. Know what your limits are. Figure out how to make peace with that guilt from your grind looking different from someone else's. And if that doesn't work, go find somebody to talk to.
Okay. So I know you mentioned the word guilt, and for us both being mothers, and a lot of my listeners being mothers as well, sometimes we deal with that mom guilt of, am I spending enough time with my kids, or am I working too hard on my dream? When is the time for myself? Do you have any tips for us mommies going through that, maybe that weird transition, whether we are single mothers, whether we've been married forever, whether we are getting married, people who are engaged, are dating, any advice?
Girl, you out here reading my journal. I'm over here having mom guilt, trying to date, talk to my friends, look for good jobs. I'm out here doing all kinds of different things. The mom guilt, that shit is not going to go away overnight. So what I suggest is taking time for yourself. Even if you feel guilty doing it, if you do it enough times, that guilt is going to go away. Mm-hmm. When it comes time for you to take time for yourself, you're going to be like, man, fuck them kids. I'm about to go get this drink.
They're going to eat that cereal.
They're going to eat that damn cereal. I just went through that shit today. My daughter was like, what we eating? Whatever's in the fridge. I'm not cooking today. And it took a long time to get there. I still experience guilt with working hard and business and her tablet all the time. Sometimes I bring her into what I'm doing so she can see I'm not just like scrolling the internet.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on here.
I love that.
Help mommy design one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I had her publish some journals. She's an author too, because I had her go through the process last year and publish Christmas journals. See, I ain't out here just, on somebody's YouTube watching videos for no reason.
All right. So you said sometimes, we have to bring our kids into what we're doing. And I definitely agree with that, because I did the same with my daughter, as in like having her publish a journal, my son be out here pressing shirts and doing all the same things I do. So I really, truly believe that that's a good way to keep them involved, see what we're doing, and seeing that we're not just on our computers and phones for, just to be on our phones.
Right. Bringing them in and finding that balance with knowing what you're doing is benefiting your family, and knowing what you're doing is benefiting your emotional and mental health.
Absolutely. So this has been a really great segment, and I want to continue this conversation offline. So if you have any questions for me or Gabby, again, my personal IG is at Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and go ahead and share yours.
So my personal IG is at Black Intoxication. Yes, you heard that right. Black Intoxication.
All right. So we are going to end this up with a conclusion. So just keep listening. So it has been so good to have you on, Gabby. And we're just going to quickly end with a takeaway and then some sound advice for you guys. So my takeaway from today is just basically having a great friend in life and in business can definitely pull you out of a dark place. And I want to publicly let you know that I truly appreciate your friendship, your words of wisdom, and for being a sounding board for me when my days are super dark. So thank you for that.
And I thank you for reciprocating that same energy.
Oh, don't make me cry now. So I just want to ask you to give some advice to, it could be someone in business, just anyone who might be currently going through some depression or anxiety.
Okay, so I'll speak from a personal and professional standpoint. From a personal standpoint, I too experience anxiety. And so any advice that I would give someone who is dealing with that right now, I would say that it's okay and you're not alone. And the next time that you're feeling anxious, just stop and thank your anxiety for being there. Because it's just letting you know that you're alive. It's trying to keep you safe, and it's okay that you feel that way. It can feel overwhelming, and it can feel heavy, and it can feel like you want to be anywhere else but there in that moment. But just stop and say thank you for knowing that you can feel that, and seek help immediately if necessary. If it feels too dark, seek help. For anyone that is, from a professional standpoint, from anyone that is really dealing with some dark times, I've definitely been there, and it can be hard to pull yourself out of it by yourself. So know that it's okay to kind of extend a hand and say, hey, you know what? I need help. There have been times in my life where I've had to reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm drowning and I can't do this alone. And know that that's okay.
Yes.
And that's the advice that I have.
Okay, so can you tell the people how they can reach you, how they can find you, give a shout out to your websites and all that good stuff?
Yes. So shout out to King Street Apothecary. That is my apothecary business. That's where I sell ritual goods, body oils, mood oils, everything for your mind, body, and your spirit. You can catch us on IG at King Street Apothecary. Website as well, kingstreetapothecary.com. And for all of your listeners, I have a discount code. Ooh. So y'all can get 10% off. Just put in for the code COINS10, COINS10, and you can get 10% off for being a great listener.
Yes. See, I be trying to help y'all save a little money. Okay. So it was so good to have you on today, and I truly appreciate you for being my first guest.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I feel so honored.
Talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Out.
Thank you guys so much for listening and subscribing. Don't forget to share and leave a review for this podcast. If you have any questions, you can email me at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com. You can follow me on Instagram at cinquantacoxsmith and at coinsandconnections.com. My websites are www.cinquantacoxsmith.com and www.coinsandconnections.com. You can join my Facebook group at Books Plus Business with Cinquanta Cox-Smith. I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.